What if the man who makes us smile is carrying more pain than we ever knew? At 69, Tom Hanks looks steady and kind, just like the roles we love. But off-screen, he's fought some very real battles. I'm Sarah Reed, and you're watching Golden American Legends. I grew up on his films: Forrest Gump, Castaway, Saving Private Ryan, 2 Oscars in the 90s, 4 decades of work, America's dad. But here's the question that pulled me in. What has he been facing when the cameras stop? I dug through late-night interviews, old press, and health stories, and what I found changed how I see him. There's a hidden diagnosis, a terrifying call for his wife, a pandemic that hit their home early, and still, they held on. They rebuilt. They chose love and discipline over fear. Which Tom Hanks movie means the most to you, and why? Hold that in your heart as we go, because the story behind the smile is powerful. We'll start at a couch under bright studio lights when a casual joke carried a heavy truth. First stop, 2013, David Letterman stage, and a surprise that stunned fans and worried friends. Let's open that door. How does a bright, energetic star end up revealing a private illness on late-night TV? In 2013, Tom Hanks sat with David Letterman and said it plainly. He had type 2 diabetes. He even joked the doctor told him, "You have type 2 diabetes, young man." It sounded light, but the truth was heavy. Tom later shared that doctors had warned him for years about prediabetes. He ignored it at first. He also said the cause was a mix of genetics and not so great eating. His dad had diabetes too. That family risk mattered. The doctor's marching orders were blunt. Get back to your teenage weight. Imagine hearing that at 57. Hard, right? Still, Tom called it a controllable disease. He focused on diet and daily movement. And here's the wider picture. About 90% of diabetes cases are type 2, and many are in people over 60. So yes, it shocked fans, but it's common. It can be managed. That night on TV wasn't just a reveal. It was a reset. Snacks changed, schedules shifted, a new chapter began. But why did the next chapter hurt even more? Because the next diagnosis did not land on Tom. It landed on the person he loves most. Now, we turn to Rita. What do you do when the person who is your home gets scary news? In April 2015, Rita Wilson shared that she had invasive lobular breast cancer. She took a leave from her Broadway show to fight it. She chose a double mastectomy, followed by reconstruction. She also did something that saved her life. She got a second opinion after an early scan showed nothing. The extra tests found the hidden tumor. That message matters so much. 1 in 8 women will face breast cancer in their lifetime. Early detection changes outcomes. Rita told reporters, "I'm getting better every day," and doctors expected a full recovery. Through it all, Tom moved schedules, flew back when filming, and sat by her side. Their home became quiet and focused. Meals, rest, and faith first. Fame later. I have such respect for that choice. Rita's story isn't only about fear, it's about action and courage. She turned her experience into advice for others. Be proactive, check yourself, ask questions. By the end of that year, she was back on her feet. But just when it felt like life was steady again, the world changed for everyone at once. The next test didn't hit one family, it hit all families. Enter March 2020. Remember those first weeks of the pandemic when the future felt unknown? In March 2020, Tom and Rita tested positive for COVID-19 while he was filming in Australia. They were among the first famous faces to say, "We've got it." That announcement shook the internet. It also made the danger feel real. They were quarantined in a hospital in Brisbane, far from home. No familiar faces beyond each other and the medical team. Still, they stayed calm. They sent simple updates, used gentle humor, and thanked the staff helping them. Together, they rested, followed orders, and waited. And they recovered. When they finally walked out, the story wasn't fame. It was gratitude. Their message was clear. Take care, follow the science, be kind. For me, it felt like one of Tom's stories come to life. Scary Act 1, slow Act 2, hopeful Act 3. Health can humble any of us. It humbled them, and it shaped how they move through the world now. But there's another layer to this whole journey. To really feel the weight of it, look at the roles he chose and how he played them. The screen may have been preparing him for the storms of real life. Forrest Gump said, "Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get." That line feels different when you know Tom's real story. In Philadelphia, he played a man facing illness with dignity. In Castaway, he lost over 50 pounds for the role and showed us a truth: you just keep breathing. In Saving Private Ryan, he made sacrifice and duty feel human and close. Even Woody in Toy Story leads with heart, not ego. These characters don't quit, they adapt, they hold on, and so does Tom in real life. 2 back-to-back Best Actor Oscars in 1993 and 1994 made him a legend. But the work behind the legend is quieter than applause. It looks like hard choices at dinner. It looks like workouts when no one is watching. It looks like showing up for your partner when you're scared too. That bridge from screen to home is real. The spirit is the same. Courage on camera is moving. Courage in a hospital chair is everything. Which brings us to the most unglamorous part of any comeback: daily discipline. What habits kept Tom and Rita strong when the headlines faded and the routine began again? Recovery isn't magic, it's a routine. After 2013, Tom set simple rules and stuck to them: smaller portions, fewer sugary treats, more lean protein. Regular exercise he could keep up anywhere, like biking and swimming. His doctor even said, aim for your teenage weight. Tough? Yes, but he took it seriously. Many people can improve type 2 diabetes with lifestyle changes. Some even reach remission. Studies suggest a solid plan can help a large share of people get there. Rita made changes too after her cancer fight. More whole foods, more plants, earlier nights, quiet mornings with prayer or reflection, home-cooked meals over late parties. It sounds basic, but that's the point. Quiet habits build strong walls. If stories like this matter to you and you want more deep dives into the real lives behind classic stars, hit subscribe. It helps me keep bringing you thoughtful, well-researched episodes. I see their routine as an act of love. Love for life, love for each other, love for the future. But routines don't stand alone. They rest on partnership. The strongest medicine in their house wasn't in a bottle. It was the bond they've built year after year. In Hollywood, long marriages are rare. Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson married in 1988. That's more than 3 decades of choosing each other. Through awards, travel, and illness, they kept their center. Tom often calls Rita his rock, even saying she's our captain. You can feel the teamwork. When Rita was sick, he paused and came home. When Tom was sick, she led the way. Their family is blended and close. Tom has 2 older children, Colin and Elizabeth, from his first marriage. Together, he and Rita have 2 sons, Chet and Truman. 4 kids, 1 team. It isn't a fairy tale. It's work. It's trust. It's showing up in the morning and again at midnight. It's cheering in the front row and holding hands in waiting rooms. They also lean on faith and gratitude, simple practices done daily. In a town where many couples fade, they've stayed steady, and that steadiness shaped every hard choice they made. But even with love and discipline, there is a price to fame. The next part of their story is quieter, a little sadder, and very human. It's about what they had to give up to keep going. Fame shines bright, but it casts a long shadow. For Tom and Rita, success meant long shoots far from home, missed birthdays, and private moments lived in public. A quick grocery run turns into photos. A quiet dinner turns into a headline. Even sharing illness becomes a global story. That's a heavy load when your heart is already tender. The industry divorce rate is high. Many couples don't make it, but they put in the work. They set boundaries. They chose home over hotspots. Tom has said many times that family is what matters at the end of the day. You feel that in the choices they made as they aged. Less flash, more time together, quieter nights. These sacrifices didn't just take something away, they also gave something back. They sharpened what matters. They reminded them to lead with kindness, not image. And they pushed both of them toward a new purpose. If pain has to be part of the story, maybe it can help someone else. That thought turned into action. Watch how they took private hurt and turned it into public good. Service, outreach, and simple acts that ripple far. After Rita's recovery, she didn't disappear. She spoke out about screenings, second opinions, and listening to your body. She supported breast cancer fundraisers and used her platform to share what helped her heal. Her message is practical and hopeful. Early detection saves lives. Ask more questions. Be proactive. Tom did what Tom does. He gave, taught, and encouraged. He has backed literacy drives and children's programs. He lends his time and voice to history and museum projects, including efforts that honor space exploration and World War II stories. It fits him. He loves legacy. He loves learning. The tone from both of them is simple. Community matters. Purpose matters. Humor helps. Pain can guide you toward people who need a hand. None of this is a red carpet moment, but it is real influence. It's what stays when the credits roll. And it brings us to the heart of this whole video. What can we learn from the way they carried all this? What do these choices say about the real cost of fame and the real reward of staying human? Here's what I take from all this. Tom's story reminds me that even our softest heroes carry heavy loads. Resilience isn't noisy. It's patient. It's kind. It makes room for others. When he visits service members or when Rita hugs a survivor at an event, that comes from lived empathy. They know what fear feels like. They also know what gratitude feels like. Tom has said he's learned to value the people around him above all. That's wisdom you earn. And fans feel it. One survey found that many of us feel closer to a star after hearing their real struggles. I'm one of them. As a researcher and a fan, I checked and rechecked these details across interviews, news archives, and health reports. The picture is clear. Behind the awards, there's a husband and a wife who rebuilt step by step. They kept showing up. They kept saying thank you. So what does tomorrow look like for Tom and Rita? Is it louder or quieter? Bigger or simpler? After everything, I think the answer is easy. It's not about applause. It's about meaning. Let's talk about that next chapter and why it matters now. At 69, Tom isn't done. He's just choosing differently. Recent roles like A Man Called Otto and the next Toy Story adventures lean into legacy, aging, and heart. He still works, but he talks about being near family more and taking fewer faraway jobs. Rita keeps creating too, from music to writing, and she often shares lessons learned from recovery. Their days look simpler now. More walks, more grandparent time, more dinners at home, less hurry. That shift feels right after what they faced. It's not about chasing one more trophy. It's about telling stories that matter and making ordinary moments count. Tom has joked he won't act forever, but as long as he does, he'll count his blessings each day. That humility is the through line. Health gave them perspective, love gave them a map, work gave them a voice, and now they're using all three with care. One more thing before we close. If this kind of careful human storytelling speaks to you, tap subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive. Now, let's bring it home with the core truth that stays when the lights go down. So here's the truth I carry from Tom Hanks at 69. Beyond bright lights and awards, this is a story of quiet fights and quiet wins. Type 2 diabetes he calls controllable. Rita's breast cancer, caught early because she asked for a second opinion. A COVID scare survived together in a far-off hospital. Through all of it, they chose patience, discipline, service, and love. That choice is why the next chapter matters, because it's not about applause, it's about grace. What will you hold on to from Tom Hanks' story when your own life gets hard? I'm Sarah Reed. Thank you for watching, for caring, and for spending time with this deep dive. If this moved you, please like, share, and subscribe so more people can find these stories. And tell me in the comments which moment surprised you most, or how you stayed strong through your own tough chapter. Your voice helps someone else. We'll keep peeling back the curtain on the legends we love with empathy and facts. See you next time on Golden American Legends. Thanks for watching and take good care of each other.